Welcome back. You've made it to Living Limitless, Play Your Way to Freedom. We're joining with you as you connect, awaken, and play your way to greater freedom, greater power, and greater expansiveness in your life. I'm Andrea Luzon. Our guest today is Ayobami Abiodun. She is a life coach, a motivational speaker, social entrepreneur, and poet. Ayobami is passionate about influencing lives positively. As a life coach, she coaches people all around the world. She's focused on personal development, growth mindset, emotional intelligence, and leadership. So, Ayobami, I am so grateful that you made it here today. I want to pass the torch to you right away and hear more about your work in your own words and what inspires you to stay in the work.
Thank you for having me. Um, what inspired me to be a life coach started from when I was young. Naturally, I realized that I'm always this curious person, very curious, wanting to know everything. And so this curiosity leads to, different questions. I question a lot of things. And in a bid to get answers to those questions, that led me to gaining more knowledge. And I was always reading, always knowing things. And as time goes on, I was able to develop myself, to understand myself more, and I realized I'm naturally intuitive, very very logical in my thinking, and I realized that most people do come to me every now and then to get my opinion, advice on one or two things, and I would give them my genuine advice, what I think is right. And they would come back to say, "Oh, Ayo, thank you so much. This worked and everything." And I'm always happy. This brings a genuine happiness within me. And I'm like, wow, this is always fun. And one thing is, what really now led me to starting Life Coach as a business is due to the help I offered people. At the end of the day, these people come to me and like, there are a lot of people out there in the world that really need help. Why don't you just start a business in this line? You are so good at it. Start a business. And I'm like, oh, sure. If a lot of people really need access to being inspired, and they are not getting this access, if they are facing challenges in life, and there is no one there to talk to, no one there to help them to overcome those challenges. So I took it upon myself to start the business. And so that was how I started life coaching business, to give everyone the access to life coaching, and
Mm.
to help people to overcome challenges, because we all face challenges in life. One way or the other, we all face challenges. So it's a matter of knowing how to navigate through your challenges and how to bring out the best in you, and just make your challenges work in your favor.
Mm. I'm hearing a lot of a natural evolution. It sounds like you definitely have a natural gift towards working with others and helping them see the other side of what's going, maybe their challenges. So that's
Yes.
I have this question that I just really want to hear. I want to hear more about your evolution into the work and maybe barriers that you've experienced in your life, whether they were self-imposed limitations or, you know, basic needs, hardships, anything like that. And a lot of us who have come to being drawn towards the spiritual aspect or towards helping people formulate their life plans, a lot of us have had a breakdown before we broke through to get into this work, to feel compelled to do this work. So I'd love to hear about your evolution.
Okay, thank you. Um, for me, it was just self-realization. It started with me knowing who I am, and seeing. I realized that when I see people are facing through challenges, I tend to feel for them. I don't know why. Like, I'm always so concerned about what can I do to just change this person's situation.
Mhm.
So this was me coming into understanding that I really want to help people. And this it was a gradual understanding for me, gradual evolution. And also, I've also the big bonus is I've faced a lot of challenges in life. And growing up, I grew up with a single parent. My mom took care of me. I didn't have a dad. He left us. I didn't even know him. And so it's really difficult, in life. And going through everything, sometimes going to school, and you are facing a lot of challenges, discrimination, rejection, and all this. Well, instead of it bringing me down, I realized that it was making me to be more resilient, in the sense that I now want to prove to them that I am much better than who they see on
Mm.
the outside. Like, I'm much better inside. And so the bit to prove to them that I am capable, I am important, I am relevant. So this started bringing the desire for me to understand more, to learn about myself, to build my confidence, to build my resilience. And since I was able to overcome those challenges, I realized that a lot of people are still facing these challenges. And this is something that could help them, because one thing for sure is you only need to first love yourself. If at all you want to overcome any challenges, the first thing is loving yourself. So it's all about me extending this help to others and making them understand that regardless of your situation, regardless of what is happening around you, love yourself first. don't
Mhm.
don't even don't try to compromise that. You can't compromise it. Love yourself first. When you start loving yourself, then that will start making you to understand that you need to spend intimate time with yourself. And you spending that intimate time with yourself, it build your self-esteem, it build your self-image, it build your self-confidence. And when people start seeing the self-confidence that you are expressing, at the end of the day, they tend to want to understand you. They start seeing the good in you, and you start expressing the good in you as well. So
Yes.
that was how I came into coaching. So because I knew I was able to overcome the challenges I faced, financial challenges, moral challenges, emotional challenges, family challenges. So
Mm.
these are things that I am, due to my experience, I know what it is, I know how it feels to go through those challenges. And that is one thing I really want to help others to overcome those
Mm.
challenges.
Thank you for sharing vulnerably and being real. That is one thing I'm loving about this series and the experts that are drawn to this series is a willingness to tell the whole story and just really put it out there, be vulnerable. I feel as though uh, that opens the door for people feeling that they can trust you and will feel drawn to working with you. And
Thank
so
you.
I feel as though you have this amazing experience, this amazing toolbox filled with ways of moving through the world where we can stay in a higher vibration or stay more in what you had mentioned, the vibration of self love, that intimacy with ourselves. And so I know a lot of people are having, I know a lot of us have struggles in our daily experience. For
Sure.
example, like a friend who doesn't want to be friends anymore, or I don't know, a car accident, or your dog poops on your shoe. So the operative word is trigger. So this catchword that we have in our field about triggers,
Yeah.
and I'd love to hear what is your interpretation of a trigger, and how do you coach individuals to move through that experience? So like I'm walking my dog and I'm on my phone when my dog stops to pee and then he's peeing on my leg. And like that's not what I planned. And that's not how I wanted my day to go. And
Yes.
I'm not pleased about this. So when you're feeling that upset start to rise, how do you guide your clients to move through that?
Okay. Thank you. I really love that question. Uh, you know, um, life is just, life is uncertain. It's full of uncertainty. You plan for this minute, but you don't know what will happen the same minute. We only plan for it. And yes, triggers are things that you didn't really plan for. They are the on as the things you really don't want in your life. They are not something you want to welcome. And when such things happen, most time it's at that moment when it happens, we suddenly get destabilized. We don't
Mm-hmm.
know where to start from.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like our brain is just blank, and we go crazy, or we are frustrated, or we are depressed, or we are sad, or we are feeling pain. It comes with a lot of negative emotions that we feel at that moment. And what I do mostly of the time is, for me, one trigger that I had to cope with over and over in my life has to do with rejection. And because I've been rejected a number of times, and most of the time when I'm rejected, maybe for an opportunity, for an event, for to join some group of people, maybe back then as a child, I want to feel among, have this sense of belonging, and they are like, no, 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 you don't belong here. you know, and all this rejection till growing up. And what I later discovered was that for me to deal with rejection, I need to deliberately take an action. I
Can you
need
say
to
that again?
deliberately take an action, because if I don't, I will easily fall into depression. So what I do, first of all, it was a gradual process for me. Instead of me being overwhelmed with everything that has happened in my life, the first thing I do is just go on and watch a comic movie.
Watch a comedy.
Yes,
I
that's
love
what
that.
I do.
I love
I just laugh to laugh, and when I watch it for 1 or 2 hours,
it. Hmm.
somehow I've forgotten about what is happening, and I'm
Hmm.
laughing. Then after that, then I take my book and my pen, and I start to write down a model that I developed for myself. And this model is also what I teach my clients, especially those that are facing rejection, maybe rejection at workplace, rejection from your love members, rejection from, there are quite a lot of rejection. And so what I do is I just explain to them the how. I break it down. The rejection, I'm like, okay, the how stand for relaxation. Relax your mind. Yes, you've been rejected, just relax, because we tend to be overwhelmed. And at that point, that's when a lot of negative thoughts, negativity would flood our mind. So we need to relax first. Then the next thing I tell them is, okay, now after you've relaxed, examine the situation. That is the E in the rejection. Examine the situation. What led to the rejection?
Hmm.
When you examine it, then I'm like, okay, now you take a step further. Justify the action.
Hmm.
Is it something that you've done wrong that you could improve on? Is it something they have done that you think they could improve on? Just try to justify the action. See what went wrong. Then evaluate the results. That is the E in the rejection. Evaluate the results. Okay, now you've been rejected for this opportunity. Why were you rejected? Understand why. Just don't just throw it out like, okay, I've been rejected, I'm going to cry all day. No, understand why, because that could also be a turning point for a new beginning in your life. So after that, I tell them, now that you've understood why you were rejected, at least celebrate yourself. You did something.
Mm.
In the rejection, you did something. That's the C. Celebrate yourself. Don't talk down on yourself, because you made a move. If you haven't done something, nothing would happen. And the T in the rejection is all about, then take away the tension. That's where the comic movie comes into place. Go for a walk, talk with your friends and family. Just do things that you love doing. Take away the tension. Just take it
Mhm.
off your mind.
Mhm.
Then for the high in the rejection is initiate a new line of action.
Mm.
Okay, now you've evaluated the results, you knew why you are rejected. Now form a new goal based on that rejection. What is the way forward? What next? Ask yourself what next. So formulate a new line of action. And the O in it is optimize your confidence. So now when you, because one thing that I know, the negative effect of rejection is it kills your confidence. And so if at all you come up with a new line of action, if you don't try to work on your confidence, you won't have the high moral to push yourself to make things happen. So you need to also make an effort to build that confidence back. Start reading books, start doing things on purpose. Like maybe there are some even little things that I teach my clients. Like sometimes you see a stranger walking, look into the stranger eyeball to eyeball. Just those little things would build back your confidence, build your confidence. And the last one is never say never. They rejected you, you feel rejected. Never say never. Don't end it there. Now that you've come up with a new line of action, start working on it.
Mm.
So in other words, the conclusion is all about let your rejection direct you to a new action plan. And
Yeah.
that has always been something that has been working in my life. I don't know if I could share an example with you.
Say that
Yeah,
last.
I would like to share an example with you.
Oh, perfect. Yes, please. Any kind of demonstration from your work. I know our viewer would love to see that
Okay,
experience.
I want to tell you a story.
Please.
Okay, I'm a social entrepreneur, and so I remember when I came up with an idea. The idea I submitted my application to this well-known organization for the opportunity to financially support and to also give me the expert support for the business, because the idea was based on one of the SDG goals, that's sustainable developmental goals, and it's based on promoting gender equality. That was the idea. And I realized that I submitted, but despite fulfilling the criteria, my application was rejected. I felt so bad. Like it was a very big opportunity, and I felt down. And I had to use my model to bring myself up. I took a deliberate action to make myself happy, because I realized that I was losing focus in my goal. And so I made myself happy. I told myself I was going to apply again. I did again. They rejected me again. And that is one thing sometimes. Sometimes when you have clients and you tell them, do this thing, you can make it, they do it, then they fail again. And now it is even worse. They feel, and you see the disappointment in them when they do it again and it didn't work for them. So I did it again and it didn't work. Then I started wondering, like I had to evaluate the situation. Why? If I have fulfilled the criteria, why? So I contacted them, I sent them a message. Why did you reject my application? Then they said, we rejected your application because we think you are overqualified.
Mm.
What's the meaning of overqualified? You have a set of criteria. I met the criteria. So there is no such thing as being overqualified. So at the end of the day, I realized that it's more like they already have those people they want to choose, regardless of what we do and what we don't do. So what I did is, well, I later came up with a new line of action. I told myself, if they've rejected it, that is their loss. I am going to work on this idea myself. So I
Mm.
started working on the idea. I reached out to other people that I think their input will make sense in the idea. And I told them, I partner with them, let's work together on this idea. They're like, sure, we'll work together. We started from zero and we started working on it. And 2 years, right now it's 2 years, and the business has grown. The funniest thing was that the same organization that rejected me 2 years ago contacted me to tell me that they want to partner with me.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow, that is a full circle right there.
exactly. And that is what I want people to understand, that yes, you face through, you go through all these challenges, but don't let it define you, because the challenges doesn't define your worth. It
Mm,
doesn't define your self-esteem. It doesn't define your confidence. It will only affect, and that is if you want it to affect you. So in order not to let it affect you, you make a constant effort to stay positive.
mm,
And this is one thing I try to teach my clients: always stay positive. It is difficult, but
mhm.
anytime you see your mind is drifting to the negative thoughts, go blank. If you cannot think of a positive thing, go blank. Don't dwell on that negative thing. Just decide not to think of anything at all. Don't think of anything. Or then you can also, there is one thing that people don't really maximize. That's the power of imagination. When you feel like nothing is working for you, for example, you are so, maybe you look at your bank account and you see that no, the money in your account is so low, you have a lot of financial responsibility that you couldn't meet up with, just, and you tend to be depressed. At that moment, just use the power of imagination. Start imagining the opposite of your situation.
Mm,
Somehow I don't know how to explain it, but at the end of the day, you will feel refreshed, awakened. And with that, your mind will be open to think of a new line of action. What can you do? Then you start thinking that ideas start coming into your mind, and that will help out. So always maximize the power of imagination. Imagine things, imagine the things you want to see in your life, and it will always work out for you.
right. Wow. I what's really coming through for me is a quote I heard recently, and I wish I could quote the person, but it was, it's not a rejection, it's a redirection.
Redirection, yeah.
And so what I heard with as you experienced rejection and then applied again and then started your own from scratch, and then lo
Yes,
and behold, they come to you and say, "Hey, can we work with you?" It's just like the universe is just like, yeah, yeah, well, we're gonna let you do this on your own. So like
exactly.
building your confidence, building how you would build it from scratch if you could. And then these people are gonna show up in your life and be like, and then ask you for permission to be with you. I just I think you gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, I was shocked when when they contacted me. I was
Yeah.
shocked.
Yeah.
But all the same, now I had to tell them. I gave them my terms and conditions. Now they have to come to my terms and conditions.
Hmm. Wow.
And
That's
that's the beauty of it. You now laying down your terms and conditions, and they have to come to it. So it's the beauty of it. It makes you feel happy. Like, no, I felt so happy.
mhm. Yes. And you did the work too. You did the
Yeah.
work. Well, we talked about working hard and imagining our own reality. So I'd love to hear a little bit about play.
Oh,
How are you incorporating play in your life and your work? And how do you feel that play helps us stand in greater personal like empowerment, greater power, greater freedom? And how does play help us expand?
ah, for me, I there is one of my principles is never to take life serious. I don't take life serious. I live my life at a time. And this is because life itself is not serious. Things happens, things that we can't even explain. And play to me is a way to genuinely connect with yourself and with the universe.
Hmm.
Uh, for me, playfulness is all about openness, willing to try new things, and you are not rigid, you are flexible. And for me, that has always been my lifestyle. I play a lot. I believe in life we need to strike a balance between work and play, because when you work and work, no, at the end of the day you realize that your productivity is reducing. So you need to refresh yourself, and you playing would always be a good tool to reflect, to refresh yourself. And no, playfulness has always been one thing that is constant in my life, because playfulness is the key to creativity. When you are playful, at the end of the day, you realize that your mind is stable. You are able to develop a stable mindset. And when you're able to develop a stable mindset, that is when creativity can flood your mind. That is when you can think of things that you've seen. For example, I might see this cup, I might always see this cup and not give any meaning to it. But when I'm playful, maybe I've gone out, be playful, then I can look at it. Why is this handle like this? Why don't we turn it like this? And that is how creativity starts.
Mhm.
Everything we see around us starts from playfulness, because it awakens your mind, it sharpens your creativity, and you just want to do things in a new way, different way. And yeah, it's always fun for me and with my client as well. What I do first is to make sure that I build a relaxed environment with them, because I realize that when clients contact life coach, most
Mhm.
of the time they come with this tension. You see the tension in them when you are when you are interacting with them. They really don't feel relaxed. So as a life coach, the first thing is to create that environment of relaxation, because when they relax, that is when they can truly open up to you, tell you everything that is going on in their life. But when they are feeling some kind of tension, they won't tell you much. And when you don't have full information of what is happening, there's little you can do to influence their life positively. So what I do is I make sure I create that environment of relaxation. I say, we just play, we joke around. Sometimes we play game online, we play game, and after that, but there is always time allocation for everything. Then after that, we are now reacting as friends, interacting as friends, close pals. So how are you doing? So at the end of the day, you see that alone start building a trusting relationship with your client. And before you know it, they feel like they found a new friend, a friend that is genuinely interested in their situation, and they
Mhm.
start opening up with you. So another thing for me is playfulness is a secret key for life coaching for me, because I use it to penetrate into my clients, to understand what is going on in their mind, their life. And that's how I come in to be able to help them to see what is happening, to gain clarity, and to develop a goal so that they can achieve that goal at the end of the day.
Mhm. I love that idea. You're actually opening up my relationships with my kids that that it's important to play maybe
Yes,
before we get into the serious stuff, or play a bit, loosen things up before we get into the work, like homework,
exactly.
like homework, or getting dressed for the day,
Yes.
which to a 7-year-old can be work, I guess. So so I love and also you had talked about travel. It sounds like you really relax and you get it sounds like you take a break also through traveling. And I was looking at
Yeah,
your pictures online. It looks like you're a woman of the world.
it's a deliberate action. I include it in my plan, in my
Yeah.
schedule. Like, okay, when I tell my clients that fix an appointment within this time and this time, for my calendar I already have dates set aside for playfulness.
Yes.
That is not something that I can compromise,
Mm.
because I know the importance of it. One thing I realize in my life is when I'm given a task to do, and at the end of the day, for example, if I'm given 10 hours to do something, I might use half of the hour to play. And sometimes people will be like, "Are you kidding me? You are supposed to be working now." But one thing I realize is when I'm playing, even during that time that I'm playing, that is when ideas start popping into my head. Like I start getting these ideas, but then again, I'm still playing. So when I come back, you will just see this creativity in me. I am inspired to really work on it, and the outcome will be marvelous.
Wow.
But if I'm serious all through, the outcome isn't that great. So at the end of the day, me understanding this fact about me, That's why I don't joke with my playtime. I play hard, and work hard.
Mhm. I'm loving your style. The balance that you are already creating in your life and for your clients, it really feels palpable. And I am getting a strong feeling that the world needs more of that now,
Yeah,
more of stepping into our creativity time, more stepping into our childlike nature of playfulness.
exactly. The inner child in us.
Yeah, the inner child. I so hear that. And children don't, when they, especially when they're really little, they don't have that self-imposed limitation mindset that we seem to develop as we're growing. So I would love
Yes.
to hear, I'd love to hear about, our series is called Living Limitless, Play Your Way to Freedom. So when
Yeah.
you hear the phrase living limitless, what does that mean for you? And how do you help your clients create that for themselves?
Okay. Living limitless is all about you. That's how I see it. So it's all about you loving yourself, you living your life based on your standard, you living your life based on your principles, not what people think you should do, but what you think you want to do, regardless of if you fail or you succeed, you know that you've done it the way you want to do it. So it's all about you embracing yourself. It's all about you pushing the boundary, competing with yourself, wanting to be better than who you were yesterday, not looking at someone as a standard that I want to beat this person, but you want to beat who you were yesterday. So for me, living limitless is all about imagining yourself, using the power of imagination to create a bigger picture of who you are, seeing beyond your limitation, seeing beyond your current situation or challenges, or seeing beyond circumstances around you, but seeing yourself as someone that could achieve anything if you want to. So, living limitless is just all about self love,
Mm,
self reflection,
mm,
and pushing the boundaries to be far better than who you were yesterday.
yes, I love that. And what's living limitless for one person is probably not living limitless for the next person. We're all. I just loved your initial answer of it's about you,
Yes,
and we forget that as a society, whether it's your family or your culture or your religion, or all the other things, we sell out our version of ourselves to fit into whatever paradigm or picture or group that we already belong to and that we want to stay a part of. And so I really loved how you emphasize the individual and the self love and the intimacy that we get to create with ourselves. So we get out of those boxes, those paradigms that we've created.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's about us just not looking at, not looking up to others, like not looking at, okay, this is what is expected of me. It's not about what is expected of you, it is what you want to do. Are you happy with what you want to do? So it is just all about you taking charge of your life, living your life the way you want to live it.
Mm. Yeah. So I also want to let's see if we're focusing. If this series is about really about focusing out. We're talking a lot about ourselves and our practices and our work, but we're
Yes.
focusing on the individual and the transformation that we are here on this planet to help create. And so I'd love to hear about what practices. Thank you so much for sharing the dealing with rejection model
Yes.
or
Thank you.
the rejection model. Um, so I love how you teach people how to move through that is such a great example of a trigger. That is such a great example of a disturbance in someone's life experiencing rejection. What are some other practices that you incorporate into your life or your client's life?
Okay. Yeah. The first thing, like I said earlier, when I have a client, when I have a new client, the first thing I want to do is to build a an environment that the client feels welcome, relaxed, and
Mhm.
building this environment has to do with me. I realize that sometimes when you tell your clients, when you open up about yourself, when you tell them one or two things about you, then they feel
Mm.
like they can connect with you, and then you see they start opening up with you. So the first thing, because one thing I don't want to do as a life coach is to have my coaching session like a presentation or another seminar. No, I don't want it to be like another seminar. There are a lot of seminars out there, there are a lot of presentations out there, so I want it to be something that I can connect with you one on one. So what I do is first build that environment, and the second thing I to do, one of the tool I also use is quiz, a fun quiz,
Mm.
because I realize that sometimes people are facing challenges, but they don't have words to explain the challenges. They are lost of words to really explain to you what they are feeling. So these are tools that helps to get into their mind and
Mm.
understand what they are feeling, even when they cannot express it in the words that would rightly describe what they are feeling. So with these quizzes, we have a lot of quizzes, we do it together, and we see the result. And these are quizzes, personality quizzes. So they tend to know more about themselves. And now, okay, I'm like, okay, now do you think, maybe for example, we do a quiz together, and one of the outcome is you are always happy when you see people sad, negative, right? Then I ask, because sometimes it's more of reverse psychology as well. So now I ask, so are you happy when you see people sad? Then you see the shock in them, like, really? Then they start thinking. So that is the point. You want them to think. It's all about um, making them to think beyond what they can see. Now they start to want to go deeper, to want to justify or maybe dispute that outcome. And so at the end of the day, you're able to get an outcome from them, a desirable one. And when they are thinking and they are giving me their answer, I'm able to understand where that is coming from.
Mm.
And so that is another thing that I use. Then another one is questionnaire. I have a tool. We use questionnaires, like, okay, what is this? That again has to do with the fact that, like I said, sometimes they just don't know the right words to say. And when you give them time enough, when they are able to have their alone time, that is when those things come to play. Like, that is when they remember some of those things, because during the coaching session 1 hour they might not remember a lot. And so going back, they are able to articulate their thoughts and put it in writing, and that we can take that forward. Like, that will be the next thing to address. And yeah, so those are the things I've been using with my clients. Just, and one thing for sure is, for life coach, any life coach to be successful, I believe the number one key is all about you being authentic.
Mm.
You don't need to want to give them impression of what you are not. Let them see you for who you are. Life coaches are not superhumans. We don't have superpowers. We don't. So let them see you for who you are. So now they understand that, okay, you are just human like me. And they are able to connect with that aspect of, okay, you are a human being like me. And they are able to see something in you, because now your life is, you are able to inspire them. They get inspired by you, because they see what you are doing, what you are accomplishing, and they are like, oh, I can do this too. And for me, I just believe that the success of a life coach is all about helping your clients to be independent. I don't want a client that will be dependent on me, in
Mm.
sense that, okay, I'm helping you to gain clarity, and at the end of the day, anytime you want to take decision, you are always contacting me. What do you think I should do? No, because at the end of the day, in other words, You are not yet taking charge of your life. It simply means you are giving me your life. So I
Mm,
don't want you to be dependent on me. I want you to be independent, and knowing that whatever decision you take, either right or wrong, you would embrace that decision. And you know that this is my work and I'm going to value what I have done. Having that confidence in your decision, in having the confidence in whatever decision you want to make in life. And that is also one thing I tend to promote with my clients. I want them to be independent, because life coaching is not about the money. For me, it's about the passion. It's about seeing that I help to make my clients happy. Like seeing that you came to me when you were stressed, depressed, frustrated, lacking direction. But at the end of towards the ending of the session, you feel happy, you feel refreshed, you have gained clarity in your life, you are able to fulfill your goals. That is what makes me happy.
mm,
Like it's a success for me, because life coaching is an act, and as an act, it goes both way. You impact people and you are impacted, because
mm,
when they are not happy at the end of the day, it's more like a failure to me,
mhm,
and that also affects me. So it's just a two-way thing. It goes both ways. I want to see them happy because their happiness is my happiness. So for me, it's just all about having my clients to see me for who I am, and understand that this this is a gift I have, because for me life coaching is natural. It's a gift I have, and this is the gift I am willing to
mm.
share with you.
Yeah, I'm definitely sensing the gift, sensing your gift. And let's talk about that.
Okay.
Perfect opening, Ayobami. Let's talk about so the, I know that that people watching want to work with you and experience this amazing skill that you have and the way that you can help this individual transform their life. So, what are you going to share with us today? I'd love to hear about how we can get access
Okay.
to that.
Yes, today I want to share with our viewers out there. Um, I have a program. I have a current program going on, life coaching subscription plan.
Mhm,
And what I do is it's a life coaching plan, and my clients tend to subscribe to the sections. It's 4 sections per month. 4 sections per month. So that is 4 hours, because one session is 1 hour. And what we do is, first I get to know you, get to understand the situation that you want help with, like what are the challenges you're facing, and with that I'm able to coach you. For me, I'm a life coach, and as you introduced me, I'm focused on personal development, growth mindset, emotional intelligence, or leadership. So most of the time, that is what I work with. And so for listeners out there that is looking to develop themselves, or maybe develop a growth mindset, or develop their leadership skills, or develop the emotional intelligence, so this package is for you. And so right now I'm offering a discount for new subscribers, and all you have to do is to follow this channel, and you get details of the discounts.
Thank you for sharing that. So, there will be a link right below this video to get you access to Ayobami Abiodun's life coaching program, and it will be heavily discounted. And she's opening her arms and welcoming you in. And I just really want to thank you, Ayobami, for your time, for your generosity with sharing your story, with sharing your work, with sharing what you see is out there for our viewer or for someone who works with you. This has been such a
Thank you
treat.
for having me.
Yes, thank you. So I
Thank
want
you
to
for
also
having me.
thank the viewer, and this has been Living Limitless. Play Your Way to Freedom with Andrea Luzon. I'm excited for you to join us for our next interview. And I'm just so welcome that you, just so grateful you're here. And I will welcome you back next time. Thank you.
Thank you.